Guess who spoke today? Xi Jinping. Finally, he faced the world. After being silent for more than 4 months, the man who went into hiding when China was going through the worst phase of the outbreak, the man who wants to be called a savior when the world is suffering because of the virus China exported, Xi Jinping, finally feeling the heat of global anger, came looking for a face saver today. Our cover story tonight is about how China is using the World Health Assembly to spin a new narrative around the Wuhan virus. Today, the decision-making body of the WHO kicked off a 2-day event. It's called the World Health Assembly. But for the Chinese president, this is a 3-part act designed to repair the damage to China's reputation. Before I get to that, let me give you some background. The World Health Assembly is an annual affair. It happens every year. Usually, the world pays little attention to it. Health ministers from member states attend it, and they discuss health policy. But this time, it's different. It's very different, all because of China. Usually, the 194 member states of the WHO gather in Geneva. For the first time in its history, this event is happening online. And it's the most important assembly in the history of the World Health Organization. Because the world is fighting a pandemic. More than 47 lakh people have been infected by the Wuhan virus. More than 3,15,000 people have died. The world wants answers from China. The world wants answers from the World Health Organization. So here's the first thing they did today. Draw up a resolution. A resolution that demands an investigation into the outbreak. Initially, 60 countries backed the call for such a probe. And that list of 60 included India. The momentum continued to grow. And now more than 100 countries the world over are supporting the demand for a probe. Let that sink in, 100. The resolution does not name China, but anyone who doesn't see this as aimed at China has to be living under a rock. It's obvious. And it is bound to raise some serious questions for China to answer. Questions like the ones we've been asking since December. What happened in Wuhan? How did the disease spread so widely and so quickly? Why did the WHO miss human-to-human transmission when it was there to see? At the center of all these questions is China and how much China has been trying to hide. Now, this is interesting. This morning, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said an investigation right now is, quote-unquote, premature. But the global tide was too strong, so the Chinese president decided to change tack. He decided to address the gathering himself. His mission was clear: defend China, buy the silence of members, and promise solution, a 3-pronged approach. President Xi Jinping delivered the speech from his office. He did not contest the demand for an investigation. He said China will support an investigation led by the WHO, which is basically, we'll investigate what we did. Not very much, but a start nonetheless. He also put up a rather unconvincing defense of China. He called China's response transparent. That's not all. He preached the world about information sharing.
All along, China has acted with openness, transparency, and responsibility. We have provided the information to the WHO and relevant countries in the most timely fashion. We have released the genome sequence at the earliest possible time. We have shared control and treatment experience. We have done everything in our power to support and assist countries in need.
Either he's bought his own propaganda, or he believes that the world does not see through China's lies. China's transparency is frankly an oxymoron. And here's something else that China is known for: buying its way out of everything. Xi Jinping resorted to the tried and tested trick. He whipped out China's checkbook again and offered $2 billion in international assistance.
I would like to announce China will provide $2 billion of international assistance within 2 years to help the COVID-19 response and with economic and social development in affected countries, especially developing countries.
It's not just money that he offered. He also promised a vaccine. And we won't be surprised if China finds a vaccine. It had the head start, it had the first samples, and for all we know, it made this virus. So Chinese researchers are the best placed to find a cure and a vaccine. What's hard to believe, though, is Xi Jinping's promise that China will share the vaccine with the world for free.
COVID-19 vaccine development and deployment in China, when available, will be made available for public good. This will be China's contribution to ensure the vaccine's accessibility and affordability in developing countries.
The world has trust issues with things made in China. What you pay for, is faulty. Imagine the quality of what you're given for free. Anyway, Xi Jinping is trying to get an image makeover here after creating this crisis. His government wants to evade scrutiny by offering money and a vaccine that may or may not come. Remember, there's no vaccine yet for SARS or MERS. Developing a vaccine for coronavirus, and that too so quickly, is a tall ask. So why is Xi Jinping making these promises? They're a distraction. They're a face saver, a way to soften the impact of an impending investigation. The next 2 days will be challenging for China. The draft resolution on the global probe is likely to be adopted, and calls for Taiwan's inclusion into the WHO are growing louder.